Oh, hey guys. Hey, listen, if you're the kind of people that like to travel and seek out adventure but don't like to spend a lot of money doing it, well, you're in the right place. Because we're going to show you how you can take a 7-week, 7,000-mile cross-country, coast-to-coast travel adventure of a lifetime, all for under $3,500. So let's go. Come on. Hey, Boomer. Oh, did you know that dogs can't operate MRI machines? But cats can. In episode 1, we drove from Orlando, Florida to the Outer Banks in North Carolina. While we were there, we created a separate video about our time in the Outer Banks and another video about one of our favorite stops there, the Wright Brothers First Flight Museum. If you've not already seen those, please check them out. In the description for this video, we'll include links for episode 1, the Wright Brothers Museum video, and the Outer Banks video. But this video is about the Transamerica Trail. So let's skip to the end of our time in the Outer Banks and rejoin the story on the beach in Nags Head, North Carolina. All right, so this is the beginning of the Transamerica Trail. If you're going to do like we are, and you're going to go coast to coast on the Transamerica Trail, this is where you're going to start. This is the beach at Nags Head, North Carolina. And this is we're right on the beach, right at Jeanette's Pier. You can find it on your map. It's literally right at the end of the Transamerica Trail. So this is going to be our easternmost point. From here, we get in the Jeep, we turn it west, and we start going. So we're going to go ahead and head that direction. Our goal today is get to Sherando Lake Campground. That's going to take us about, we're guessing, 6.5 hours. But when you take these types of trails, you can't say exactly how long it's going to take because you don't know exactly what type of road you're looking at. Today, I think that we have mostly paved surfaces. So we're guessing the 6.5 hours it's going to take. Find out, and we'll take you guys along. Let's go. And when you come out of Nags Head, you're coming off of an island. So you're going back to the mainland. You got bridges, and that first, I don't know, half hour or so was a lot of very coastal areas. So a lot of water, a lot of bridges. Beautiful, beautiful area.
We had a lot of paved roads that day that we weren't expecting. I was super itching to get off-road, and we did have some off-pavement areas, but not like what I was anticipating. In my mind, I had thought, oh, okay, we're going to start and then we're going to turn off the paved road and be on dirt road for the rest. And that wasn't the case in the beginning.
So the Transamerica Trail is not just one giant track, it's a collection. It's more than 100 individual tracks.
We began our trip on the Atlantic Ocean Spur, which is a collection of 7 tracks totaling 464 miles.
The first track is AOS 01, or Atlantic Ocean Spur track number 1. It's 116 miles long.
So getting up at like 5:30 in the morning so that we could go see the wild horses of Corolla and then start on our journey on the actual Tat Trail. It just made for a really long day, and it was accentuated by the incessant squeaking of the roof rack. It just kept squeaking and squeaking.
All right, guys, I don't know if you can hear this squeaking business that's going on in the back. but it's about to make us nuts. Yeah. So evidently we need to tighten down the roof rack. It's the rubber seals that kind of go around where we had to drill holes in the hard top to get the roof rack on. They evidently are a little bit too loose and they're squeaking, and it's making us nuts. And as soon as we got to those rough roads, oh my goodness, the squeaking on the roof rack just started. And as soon as it started, we instantly noticed it, and then we couldn't not notice it. That squeaky, squeaky, squeaky all day long became like an irritant. It's like dripping water. And we had been up since 5:30 that morning. We were already kind of tired before we started on the Transamerica Trail close to lunchtime. And so to be 4, 5, 6 hours into a drive, squeaky, squeaky, squeaky all day long, we were getting pretty irritated with that. That was tough. It was a mental challenge on that day. We expected that we'd be off of the paved roads and onto the dirt roads relatively quickly, but it wasn't like that. A good chunk of the day on day one was actually on paved roads, which is fantastic in a sense because you can make better time. You can get further down the road. You can get more miles under your belt. And we needed that because we'd given ourselves an aggressive plan. We wanted to make it 350 miles or so. Yeah, so here we are, 3:55 in the afternoon, and we hit our first gravel. It's been paved road the whole day, which has been good. It's helped us kind of get some miles under our belt, get down the road a ways.
Well, I wouldn't say good. I mean, that road's been janky.
Okay, they were paved, but the roads have not been that great. These back roads, some of them have been more than a little sketch. We'll say they are less than ideal. But here we are at 3:55. We hit our first section of gravel. It lasted about, well, here's the end of it right here.
5 minutes. 3 minutes.
Not even. So less than a mile. But we're back on pavement. If you do your homework and you read, the average person on the Transamerica Trail only does about 200 miles a day. Well, that's also on an adventure bike. The Transamerica Trail was designed for adventure bikes. They go on these trails a lot faster than a full-size Jeep loaded for bear. So we had a lot of weight. We had a large vehicle. We knew we weren't going to be doing as many miles as an adventure bike could. And here we were looking to do 350 miles on day one. That first dirt road that we hit about just before 4 o'clock, I think it was like 3:55. That was the first of many. And so during the first part of the day, we were able to average probably 50 miles an hour. Since then, we've been averaging less than 40 miles an hour. And so where we really figured that we would be rolling into camp somewhere around 6, maybe 6:30. Now it's 7, and we're still at least 45 minutes out.
They're like, oh, they ran into each other.
By the time we got to the 6.5 hour mile mark, we looked at the track, we looked at what we'd done, we re-estimated how long it was going to take us to get to the campground, and we've realized, boy, we've been doing this 6.5 hours. We thought we'd be done, but we've got at least 2 more hours to get to the campground. We were already tired. This was becoming a very long day.
That was a 15-hour day for me to drive. That's a long day. Now, it was at the beginning of the trip, and I was like, all right, I'm fine with, 1 off or 2 off here or there, or whatever, driving that long. But I was worried that was going to become the norm for us to get through the mileage that we wanted to get through each day.
And to have that big of a discrepancy in our planning on the very first day, oh wow, that really kind of put some doubt in us.
Coming into camp late is not our first choice, but it is what it is. And sometimes you just have to get down the road and get the miles in, and have a quick dinner or maybe no dinner, and you go to bed and start again the next day.
So we got to the campground and it was already dark. It was nighttime by the time we came rolling in. The campground was full. And the one space that was open was the one that we had reserved. And it was right by the bathhouse, which was fantastic. We got camp set up very quickly and ate a little bit and then walked right across the road right there, got our showers, and then called it a day. We made it to camp. We're at the Sherando Lake Campground. It took us about 9.5 hours to get everything done today. The message there is that these trails can take longer, and it is difficult to try to figure out exactly how long it's going to take you. So hopefully as we go through here, we'll be able to give you guys some information so that when you plan your own trip, you'll be able to better gauge than what we did. We came rolling in camp about 8:30, which is late for us. We don't like to do that. But it's not that big a deal when it happens, every so often. We tend to go aggressive on the first few days of our trip and really try to get some miles under us. After that, we try to tend to loosen up a little bit and go at a slower pace. But we really wanted to get to this particular campground tonight, just doing research as far as where we wanted to stay. Now, we're going to need to talk to you guys a whole lot about how to plan where to stay and how far you can actually get in a day. But we can't get all that into a single message. So let's just say for now that the day one, 9.5 hours to get from the ocean to Sherando Lake Campground. Tomorrow is also going to be a very aggressive day. And based off of how long it took us today, we're a little concerned about what it's going to be tomorrow. If our timing is off as much tomorrow as it is today, we may have to make some adjustments on the fly.
Day one, 15-ish hours of driving. Yeah, that was something, let me tell you. So to bed we went and slept hard we did.
In our next episode, we spend our first full day on the Transamerica Trail and get our first real look at what the next 7 weeks are going to be like. Please join us as we get into this amazing adventure. The Best Life Adventure Channel's Transamerica Trail video series is brought to you by Extreme Jeeps and Trucks in Orlando, Florida, and by RCI Jeep and 4x4 in Melbourne, Florida.